Hey y'all, it's Lindsey. I just finished hard boiling some eggs. My brain got to turning and I kind of wanted to talk about this thought that my brain will not let go of. So I thought I would just peel my eggs and we could chat. For a bit of context, if you are unfamiliar with me, I have been following a keto-friendly way of life since 2016. I used to do Trim Healthy Mama. I started off with that and then it quickly just sort of like naturally fell into a keto way of life. I learned really quickly that carbs do not make my body feel good at all. And so I modified to figure out what does work well for my chemistry. And I landed on the keto diet. Like I said, kind of like unintentionally, I landed on keto, did the reverse research on it and realized like, oh, okay, so this is a thing. And I don't ever anticipate going back to a carb cycling way of life or a high carb life. I'm not going to say never because I don't know what the future holds. But at this point in my life, oh, put that in the proper spot there, Lindsey. At this point in my life, I don't anticipate having to go back. So there's that. If you're new here, there you go. I would love to have you consider subscribing and hanging around for a while. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I heard someone say on a video, and I cannot find it at this point in time. I cannot recall it. However, I've heard this from numerous people in the what should I say, diet-friendly world, the diet world. Oh dear, that little egg just decided to have a come apart. So I follow a lot of different people in the diet world, the food world, the way of eating world, the nutrition world. And I like to follow people who eat differently than me, who are, like having all types of choices for their way of eating, just because I find it fascinating to understand why someone would choose something that I personally have found to not work well for me. And it helps me to understand other people's choices better, and it helps me to have a greater compassion or a greater ability to allow everybody to live and let live, right? Okay, that was probably said really poorly, so I pray you're blessed. One person I heard say, and like I said, I can't remember who said this, but basically they had been on a low carb lifestyle and ate a piece of cake or something, some kind of a dessert at a party or something or other, and then proceeded to say with absolute certainty that their weight gain on the scale could not have possibly been from a single dessert. Now, I don't know how many calories, how many carbs, how many fat grams, how much protein. I have no clue about what the actual breakdown of the food was. And there's no way, it's just ridiculous to even care at this point. But basically, I looked up like what a Publix birthday cake would wind up being, and it's 300 some calories and 40 grams of carbs approximately. So if you wound up with a piece of cake that was the actual intended serving size, you're looking at 40 grams of carbs. And on a low carb lifestyle, that's still well within the range of less than 100. But the comment was that this person had gained weight on the scale and then turned around and said, well, it couldn't have been logically because of the piece of cake or the dessert or the pie or cobbler. I don't remember. It's a moot point at this time. But basically they logicked themselves into saying that it was not because of this dessert that they wound up gaining weight on the scale. It was like a couple of pounds, 5 pounds, something. And so this small little one choice dessert could not have possibly gained that much weight on their body. And yet we logic ourselves through a whole bunch of different things when it comes to our health and nutrition. We logic ourselves into thinking that calories in, calories out, that's the way you lose weight. And while that is technically true, not all calories are created equally. Your body cannot assimilate all different macros the same way. Like a gram of protein is not going to function in your body's chemistry the same way that a gram of fat functions. just like it's not going to function at the same way as a carb gram functions, right? So different nutrients provide different resources for your body. And if you figure out which resources function well in your body, then your body is likely to find its balance of health, right? Okay. I finished with my eggs and I'm still going. Clearly I cannot talk and do an activity at the same time. Hold please, I'm gonna wash my hands. And we're back. Okay, so dagnabbit, where was I? You couldn't keep my place for me? Good grief. Okay. We understand that calories in, calories out, or no, to lose weight, that's where I was going with this. To lose weight, you've got to reduce your calories compared to what your body actually uses. And there is science that proves that to be true. But like I said, not all calories are created equal. And you have to keep that as one of the variables in the equation. We also used to believe firmly that you reduce your calories and you increase your burn in order to lose weight. And then Dr. Keto came along and he said, if you are burning more calories, your body requires more calories. Otherwise, you're going into a state of deprivation, starvation mode, and your body is going to slowly decrease your actual calorie burn because it's not going to sit there and write a check that your body can't cash. Same thing, like if you're going to choose to not be active, you should choose to not add surplus to your body in the form of calories. So it's a eat more, move more, eat less, move less concept that Dr. Keto sort of developed. And I think that that's very sound and logical. But before it used to be eat less, move more in order to lose weight. Like that was what was considered logical and conventional understanding. Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent here, and that's just sort of how my brain works. So here we are. Going back to the dessert concept, like having a single dessert in a week and then having tons of gain on the scale, why do we believe that having one single dessert that is like a standard American sugar-loaded dessert, why do we think that that could not possibly be the catalyst for a uptick on the scale? Like you gain 2 to 5 pounds in 1 week because, and not necessarily only because of that one dessert, but then people logic their way through like, it could not have been that this little 8-ounce dessert, whatever it may have been, gains 5 pounds. Like the math doesn't work. And I'm thinking, doesn't it though? When we first go and drop sugar and drop our carbs and we go more keto friendly, we lose a bucket load of weight first. And every single time people are so excited and then they realize it's not true fat. It's water weight plus some other things, right? It's usually like, oh, I dropped 14 pounds in 2 weeks. But I do know, like we always put the disclaimer, I know it's not just fat. I know it's a ton of water weight. Why is it a ton of water weight? Carbs can hold on to water, right? They retain water. And does then it not stand to reason that a single carb-loaded, sugar-filled dessert would not retain enough water to then make the scale creep up that high? I think I haven't fully teased out this idea. I haven't fully just like explored the whole thing. But the way my brain works, I don't understand how we can logic the fact that dropping carbs drops tens of pounds in a short period of time, but having a single carb-loaded, sugar-filled dessert doesn't create the uptick. I don't know how that all works out, but in my brain it doesn't. So in my brain, if you're gonna have a sugar-filled dessert, fully expect the scale to go up, mostly due to water weight. Like, of course, it's not gonna be pure fat weight. However, you know, your scale is gonna go up. Like your numbers are gonna go up. You might feel more bloated. You might feel like your pants don't fit you right from a single sugar-loaded, carb-filled dessert. And that's to be expected. The carbs are gonna hold that water. Your body is gonna feel inflamed from the sugar because that's something that sugar tends to do to most people. I don't know. It's just something that I was thinking through, chewing on, and I actually would really love to have a discussion down in the comments about this topic. Where do you sit? Do you think that a single dessert that is a standard American carb-filled, sugar-loaded dessert can cause a massive uptick. I mean, if we know that stress and lack of sleep can cause a massive uptick, why do we not think that a single catalyst of a sugar-loaded dessert can't cause the uptick? Anyway, I'd love to talk with you about it in the comments. Also, YouTube really wants you to see this video right over here, so I'll meet you over there.